Good morning. I hope you're well. Now, the other day I had an idea frankly, it was just an idea for a little vlog, and I followed it through, so I'm going to show you the results of it. Now, I hope you find it interesting. I don't know if you're anything like me, but I think most motorcyclists, we all want to look after a bike and we all want to do the best for the bike and make it last and clean it, make it look presentable. Most of us do. That's not all of us, of course. And I mean, I know people, we all know people who, there's sort of riders and there's polishers, isn't there? There's people who ride them till they drop, and there's others who won't take them out if there's a spot of rain, 30 miles away, and it might come this way. We've all got friends like that. Well, this little vlog is talking about cleaning your bike. Now, I'm not going to tell you how to clean your bike. I'm not a professional. Goodness knows I'm not a professional. So let me get all the caveats in now, because don't take this as gospel. You'll undoubtedly see stuff that I do that you think, oh, I wouldn't do that, and I wouldn't use that. And, I want my Canuba wax to come from the foothills of the Himalayas, Well, all this is simply this. When I was a boy, there was times, I've got it here, when I used to clean my bike with nothing more than a bucket, a sponge, and, yep, some fairy liquid. Car wash, bike, who needs that? Fairy liquid's fine, isn't it? Well, nowadays, what I've tended to do is use a bucket and sponge, and I use a bucket and a sponge, I use some car wash, and occasionally I'd do a polish. I'd get the Solvol Auto Sol out on the engine cases and I'd give it probably an auto glim polish. That's what I would do every, I don't know, couple of months I'd do that. And every couple of weeks, or if it was particularly grimy, I'd just throw a bucket of soapy water over it and give it a sponge. I'm sure most people, not all of course, are like that. Okay, so this is a bit different today. I'm at a car detailing centre, and they supply loads of products. Auto Bright Direct, I'm sure you may have heard of them, and it's on Festival Park in Stoke-on-Trent. And I thought I'd pop down and speak to the boys down here who've been really helpful, and the best way of essentially cleaning your bike. They've been really helpful, and I just thought I'd show you inside, just so that this is the shop inside. Really friendly bunch. Put me onto the products that I need because I didn't really know what I was doing, and it's going to be very different to cleaning the bike with an orange B&Q bucket and fairy liquid. Essentially, what they've taught me through the products that I need to do a decent job on the bike. They talk about, I think, 6 steps of detailing. Step 1 is the wheels. And then we talk about pre-wash. And then washing. Moving on to polish. A million different polishes. Onto protecting what you've done up till now, and then we're on products for finishing. So if these haven't got it as far as car cleaning or bike cleaning is concerned, and these people know what they're doing, and they actually do detailing on site. So I thought I'd pop down and get an idea of some professionals just exactly what is required. So the next step is for me to put some of the products into action and see what it looks like after. So this is Auto Bright Direct in Stoke-on-Trent. Okay, now, can I just say up front that the company that I went to visit was called Auto Bright Direct. They're a local company to me, and they've got a big detailing centre in Stoke-on-Trent, and they've got their own shop, stock full of products, which are their own products that they're happy to sell you, or indeed, I guess they do mail order. I have no vested interest in Auto Bright Direct. I've got no links to them. I'm just a bloke walked in off the street and asked them, look, I've got an old motorbike. How do I clean it? Can you tell me how to clean it? And I found them very helpful. The products are not cheap, but equally they're not overly expensive. They're what you'd expect nowadays. They're on a par with a premium product. And they did take the time to go through it with me and give me some good advice. So I'm happy to recommend them in that way. But please don't think that these have all been given to me and I've got to say the right things, because I haven't. I've used them. I found them good. I found them good in some respects, better than a product that I've used before. But make your own mind up. It's just really to show you the process of cleaning it. That's the main thrust of the video. Now, as you can see at the moment, all I'm doing now, stage one was to walk around the bike and hose it down. Essentially, just rinse it off. Okay, so having done stage one, which is simply rinsing it off, giving it a hose down, stage two was give it a pre-wash. Now this is their own, it's called citrus wash, and it does smell nice and lemony, and it goes on through your an attachment on your jet washer. On the Karcher jet washer, you fill that up. It mixes in that with some water, and you just go round it and spray it on. It says on the bottle, I'm just reading off the bottle here, it says ideal for removing road grime, bug splatter, moss and mildew from plastic, vinyl and rubber surfaces, safe to use, leaves a streak-free finish. So you spray it on, and it talks about leaving it. It's got a dwell time of about 5 minutes, and you dilute it depending on the severity of how dirty it is, and all the directions are on the bottle. So we're on stage two now, the pre-wash, and we're just going to spray that on, and we're going to leave it for 5 minutes. And then it's just a matter of rinsing it off. Now I think it's worth just mentioning, because I hadn't really considered this, but all this rinsing and the pre-wash and then the snow foam that's going on in a minute is all designed to chemically remove most of the road grime and the stuff that's on the bike, and it's just to let it run off without you. I haven't touched it with a sponge or a cloth or anything at this stage, and it's just a matter of letting it run down the grid really. And that takes us on to the next stage, which is snow foaming it. Now I've never used this before, and you can see in my bottle there I've actually got far too much. You can mix it to varying degrees, and it's a learning curve for me, and I made too much because I actually had enough to do the car as well. So I would say use this a bit more sparingly than I did, but it's to go around it with snow foam. And again, there's a dwell time on this. You just leave it on the bike. They recommend for 5 to 8 minutes dwell time, so leave it on the bike for 5 to 8 minutes. Now the next thing we've got to do is rinse the snow foam off once it's dwelled on the bike for the amount of time that they recommended. I have to say that when I finished this stage, bearing in mind that I hadn't touched it yet, it was looking an improvement on the starting point. I didn't show much detail in the starting point. Perhaps I should have done. It wasn't over grubby, but it had been, I've been out on it for a couple of days, and it was a bit getting a little bit rough around the edges. You couldn't really see the detail of that at the time, but at this point, I had a look at it and I thought, yeah, that is a fair starting point for cleaning. So. Up to yet, the effort. I was thinking, yeah, the effort's worthwhile. That's for you to decide, of course, based on a number of factors: how much time you've got, how much you want to spend on it, and all. There's a million factors for each one of us. We're all individuals, aren't we? I know lots and lots of people that couldn't be bothered with any of this malarkey. Of course, I've been there myself, but it was just a little project to see if it was worthwhile. And at this point, having maybe it's just because I had invested the time and the money into it, and I wanted it to I wanted it to work, but I think it did. It genuinely, it was looking okay. It was looking okay. And now, after all that, a bit I understand. I'm in my comfort zone now. I've got me cheap bucket and my sponge, and this is standard washing. I'm actually using Autobright's own product here, which is called, I'm just having a look at it, Purple Velvet Luxurious High Gloss Suds Shampoo. Didn't need much of it in my bucket. Loads of suds, nice smelling, and just a general. This is just the bucket and sponge bit, so we're going to give it a sponge over. Okay, and now talking about dwell time, I'm not going to dwell on that too much. I spent a few minutes obviously going around the bike with my bucket and sponge, giving it a thorough going over, and now it's time for ye olde rinse off yet again. So we're just rinsing off now. So having come this far, we've done all the pre-wash stuff, the snow foaming, several rinses. We've washed it off and we've rinsed it again. And now, before we move on to the polishing stage, it's just time to get it dry. So whatever your chosen method of getting it dry is, we're going to dry it. My chosen method normally, at least to get most of the water off outside the garage, which is what I've done there, is to use my little pet dryer, which I featured on a different vlog. Somebody showed me this once and I find it works perfectly, but however you use it, however you decide to do it, obviously it's got to be dry before we apply polish. What I actually did was I blasted 80-90% off of it. Now I'm just showing you quickly, and then I put it in the garage overnight, give it a quick wipe over, and then I came back the next day to just continue with the polishing stage. So however you choose to do it, it's just a matter of getting it dry, obviously, before we move on to polishing. So the next day we wheel her out of the garage and it's time to polish the bike. I used a product from the Autobright range, again, quite happy with it. And it's a matter of swirling it on with a decent cloth and then just wiping it off and buffing it up. Pretty straightforward. The same with any polish really. You're just just applying it and then buffing it off. One thing that I would say about the polish that I used from Autobright, which I was quite pleased with, was the polish that I normally use, which is probably the market leader, does it gets chalky. If you're in the UK, probably if you're further afield than that, I'm sure this is available all around the world, but well, I guess it is anyway. But the predominant polish that we use over here, once you put it on, you get a chalky residue with it. And with this polish that I use from these people, we had none of that. It was nice to apply. It smelled lovely again. I don't know what it is about the smell of these things, but they do make them smell nice. And no chalky residue at all. It went on a treat, came off a treat, and it looked absolutely fine. Yeah. So again, quite pleased with that. Okay, so we're coming to the end now. So what have we done? We've had loads of rinses. We've pre-washed it. We've snow foamed it. We've rinsed again. We've washed it off. We've dried it. We've polished it. And the last step last step that I'm going to make anyway is they offered me what's called a ceramic quick detailer, which if I just get the bottle, I'll tell you what it says. I'll tell you what the blurb says on the bottle. It's a ceramic quick detailer, a CO2 infused quick detailer. Gives a great glossy finish to all surfaces, provide a durable protection, great water beading and dirt repellency, making future cleaning a breeze. Blah 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 blah. Great standalone product for unprotected surfaces. How to use? Spray it on, wipe it, and buff it off, and that's it. Use microfiber towels. Well, here's an admission. I didn't have any microfiber towels when I was doing mine, so what difference that would make, I'm not sure. But who am I to argue? Well, I should have probably used some microfiber towels. But so this is the last step. Micro ceramic quick detailer over the bike, and just spray it on and wipe it off. Spray it on and buff it up. Yeah, a bit like the polish, really. A bit like the polish. Now, so I'm coming to the end now, virtually finished. Can I just go back to what I said pretty much at the start? This is my understanding using some of the products that a professional detailer uses on a day-to-day basis. And it's very much a layman's guide. There's no doubt that people will be looking at this, and some will be reeling back in horror, and others will be saying, what a waste of time that is. It'll be dirty the first time you ride it out, which is absolutely true as well. But I think this is the sort of thing that if you've got a few hours and you want to give your bike a proper clean, I'm not sure it's something that I do absolutely every week, if you like. I'll probably just go back to my bucket and sponge and my hose pipe. But once every time allowing, once a month, once every couple of months, maybe, to follow this process, it does bring it up. And so I would like to say thank you to the guys at Auto Bright for guiding me through the process. The products that they supply I found to be absolutely fine, no issues with them whatsoever. So whatever product you use, this was the sequence of events that they were recommending to sort of clean a bike from a layman's point of view. So all I was doing was following that. And at the end of it, when I stood back and looked at it, I did feel that, I mean, you'd like to think so, wouldn't you? After spending that much money and spending that much time on it, it's got to be better than a normal sort of 20-minute bucket and sponge job. So, what I would say to do this, once you got into it, you could probably do this in, I don't know, a couple of hours maybe. So it's a nice little project on a sunny day. Keep the tea coming. Maybe put your headphones on, lose yourself in some music, and I could wow myself for a couple of hours on doing this easily. And the end results, I felt, were worth it. So please feel free to comment if you like this sort of stuff and you want to join me on this little journey that I'm on. But feel free, and again, I said in a previous video, if you're feeling charitable and you want to subscribe and support the channel, that'd be great. Don't forget, it doesn't cost you anything, and you can hit the notification bell, and you'll be notified when other videos come out, when I'm doing other stuff or going for other little ride rounds. It'd be good to have you on board. Failing that, I mean, please leave me a like or a comment, and I'll see you on the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye.